The SME Philippines is a free learning platform offered to Filipinos who are looking for a way to learn and build real employable skills that are in demand. Learn marketing, entrepreneurship, photography, culinary, advertising, videography, business operations, gardening, personal development, health and fitness, finance and accounting, music, and academics. Learn and share your skills today. Sign up now at sme.ph. Sign up now at sme.ph.
Hi, welcome to ESME Live webinar series. My name is Jessica.
My name is Jet, and we are the co-founders of ESME, an early learning platform for Filipinos where you can build relevant and in-demand skills.
So thank you for joining our webinar episode today. Please do like our FB page, ESME Philippines, and visit our website at www.esme.ph for free courses and to be updated with the upcoming courses.
And since we are live in Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, please feel free to share this video to all the people who you think will be interested about our topic today. So, Jessica, what's our topic today?
So our topic today is defining business mentorship. We have a very special guest. So today we're going to tackle why every entrepreneur needs a business mentor, and maybe we will ask questions to our special guest that I'm sure that a lot of entrepreneurs are eager to ask our guests. So would you like to introduce our guest now?
Yes, sure. Our guest speaker for today is really one of the best mentors I've ever had. He is also one of the most sought speakers in entrepreneurship here in the Philippines, and kilalang-kilala natin siya kasi yung produkto niya, the one that he really tried to be successful with, yung Potato Corner. Yan yung alam natin.
One well-known brand. Yeah.
One very well-loved brand, and he is the CEO and founder of a well-loved brand, yung Potato Corner, and he is the brain of the joy of our merienda, and he is one of the mentor and investor of several companies, hindi lang yung Potato Corner. He's also a real-life serial entrepreneur, as in real-life serial talaga siya, and also he's become for the past few years, he's become a venture capitalist, and also most importantly, he's not really into investing, he's really into teaching and mentoring investors. So ladies and gentlemen, with great pride, I introduce you our guest for today, Mr. Joe Magsaysay of Potato Corner. Welcome, Sir Joe.
Thank you for the introduction. I'm honored to be your guest here, Jessica.
We are honored, Sir Joe Mag. We are equally honored to be with you today.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving us time from your busy schedule. So I guess without further ado, we want to make the most of your time. We want to ask a question. So basically, from previous, when you were starting as an entrepreneur, who were your mentors and how have they influenced you?
Well, marami akong mentors, no? Yung mga bosses ko. When I was working, no, I worked before becoming entrepreneurship. I was working, no? I worked at Wendy's. So, of course, not exactly mentors kasi nung panahon namin, nung 90s, nobody was talking about mentorship before. It was just, you see someone you like, you see someone you idolize, or you think is good in business, and then, wow, I'll just mimic the guy or I'll follow the guy. Ganun na lang. You just observe, you know. You don't go to him and can you be my mentor? Or nung panahon namin, you just see what the guy does and you start doing and following how he does business, what his values are, you know, ganun. And that's how I did. So there were many people really I sort of idolized. And from there, I took the good things I like about them, how they run their business, how they, how they, how they run the business, how they treated people, ganon.
Mm.
So over time, that's what I picked up, looking at people, not only here, no, not only with the people I worked for dito sa Philippines. Syempre, yung mga idol natin na ano, 'di ba, yung mga nasa Silicon Valley like Bill Gates, ganyan, Steve Jobs, mga ganyan, yan. So those are influencers too. They influenced me because
Mm.
I like, there's no one particular, but believe it or not, at my
Mm.
age I still have a mentor.
Talaga?
I really have a mentor. I really have an executive coach that I really that I really call on every week, just to sound, I use as a sounding board, get feedback and get advice. It's very important. I don't think there is anybody excused from having an executive coach or a business mentor
Mm.
or a sounding board. It's very important for entrepreneurs.
Yeah,
That's
that's really awesome to hear na kahit yung mga mentors na tinitingnan namin as entrepreneurs right now also have mentors on their own. It's really fascinating. And alam
Alam mo,
natin naman,
Jet,
sige
in
sir.
fact, yung mga coaches ko, mga personal coach ko, yung mga mentors ko, sinama ko sa board ko. When
Nice. So
they're part of my board of directors in some of my companies, and
you
some
can
are
get
my partners. So
that
that means I'm
connection.
more in touch with them than ever.
Nice. That's really a good strategy to make
yeah.
them part of your board.
Yeah, I think that's the one benefit, advantage of having different mentor. Kahit anong level ng ano, kahit you're a young entrepreneur, you're starting or you're very successful. Kasi it will also give you different perspective,
Mm.
and you will also learn different skills from different people. So
Mm.
every people have different expertise or skills.
Mm.
So that's
You know,
thank
in
you.
fact, right now at this point, di ba, I have so many younger partners. I have
Tama.
partners old enough to be my children,
Children.
no, my sons and daughters. I'm actually learning from them already now, because the market
Yeah.
is changing, di ba? If I keep on talking to people my age or older than me, syempre matututunan ko yung mga ka-level nilang mga iniisip. Pero
Mm.
when I interface with people as young as you two, or I mean, siguro mga 20 lang kayo, di ba? 22. So, ganon. Imagine, I learn new things talaga on how human nature is starting to change, how
Ah,
human nature is relevant to our business.
tama.
Exactly.
Ito isang one question that will make you human, sir. Kasi most people, many people are looking up to you, one successful entrepreneur who built potato corner from scratch, from one branch into an international brand, not here, and to mga several parts of the world, no? Pero one question that interests me talaga, meron bang time na nag-messed up ka and you felt na nag-fail ka?
Maraming beses. I come from I'm coming from one crisis after another. This COVID crisis is just another crisis I'm facing. But I've
Mm.
come from the Asian economic crisis. I come from a crisis when I lost my job.
Mm.
I came from a crisis. I lost salary. I came from a crisis. I lost everything.
Mm. Yung mga
Life is full of crisis.
yung mga ganong crisis, sir, how did you bounce back? Meron ka bang template? Meron ka bang game
Strategy.
plan o strategy that you've always come whenever you went through this kind of crisis?
Ano lang yan, sipag at tiyaga lang talaga. That's the only thing I know. It's just hard work and perseverance. And
Tama.
then don't let people pull you down. For example, I have an idea or somebody has an idea. I always keep an open mind, because there might be a gold nugget somewhere among those ideas. So, but there are people also, when you just start talking, walang kwenta yan, hindi pwede yan. That I try to stay away from people like that.
Tama.
So one
Because every
question.
idea to them is bad.
Tama.
They people who or some people will say, oh, they really naman serve a purpose. But after you launch a proof of concept, and then they will be the one to temper your idea, the way you do business already. Or you can listen to them, but it's not supposed to stop you from doing what you think you're doing. Let those ideas, let those negative ideas
Mm.
or those negative
Why
comments
you-
temper lang your ideas.
Mm.
Kasi it helps pa rin eh. Then still launch pa rin.
Mm. Tama ka sir, sabi nga nila, everyone always has something to do. And meron pa akong meme na nakita, parang yung, your bashers are your secret fans. Parang,
yeah.
go,
That's
Joseph.
another way of looking at it. Ha? Okay, that's a very positive way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes critics
Okay
are
yun.
also good. Like, take it as constructive criticism for your improvement, diba? And get use those criticism to motivate you more and to, amplify your drive in
Ay,
not only, yeah,
until now, ano, my members of the board or my other partners during some of my presentations or some of when I talk, they say, "Oh, Jomag, dapat ganito 'yan." Talagang minsan talagang mali ako eh. I'm glad I have a board. I'm glad I have partners who tell me sometimes it's wrong or maybe you should do this. And most of the time they're also right.
yes.
Tama.
Ang
Mas
hirap na
maganda.
mag-isa ka lang. Ang hirap na mag-isa ka lang eh. Kasi kala mo tama ka parati.
Opo, tama.
Mm.
That's right. So, one question I'm curious about, sir, when you were starting your journey, and I noticed this to a lot of people close to me who wants to, to finding their purpose and
Yeah.
starting their journey as an entrepreneur. When you were starting, do you already know your why? Why are you doing? Why do you want to do entrepreneurship, or why do you want to get into it? Or what did it change? Did your why change before compared to now?
So, mabigat yung question mo, Jessica.
Well, I actually read a book by
So, that's
Simon.
really deep, huh? That's really deep.
Yes
Okay.
po.
So, what book did you read?
Yeah, I read a book by Simon Sinek. So because this is
Okay.
my thought process whenever I'm having struggle, especially when it comes to business.
Mm.
For me to motivate myself, I go back to my why. Why am I doing this? So
My
now,
why,
yeah,
my why has always been changing. So when we started Potato Corner with my partners, my why was just maybe to be able to add extra income so that I can send my children to school. Uh, and then when 2 years later, my why was to hit to make sure we share our success to other partners. That's why we were franchising most of the time already. And then, uh, so as you depending on the ano on the on the on the
Situation.
on the on your
sure.
business life, your whys may change. And
Mm.
then for me, that's always been the case. My why has been changing.
Mm.
But like for example, now my why is I just want to make sure a lot of micro entrepreneurs
Mhm.
become successful. That's my why.
Tama, tama. And dito sa mga changing of why mo, Mr. Sir Joe Magno, sabi mo nga, your why changes depends on the situation, depends on your inspiration. Dun ba sa journey mo as an entrepreneur coming from a micro-entrepreneur, and I know for a fact na you are still a micro-entrepreneur, lagi mo nga sinasabi, you can never be a Jollibee, you are really a franchise person. Meron ka bang sa journey mo, meron ka bang something na gusto mong baguhin given the chance? Would you have done differently?
Okay. Let's talk about a time machine.
Yes, sir.
If I had a time machine now, uh, of course, I'd like to do some things different, no? If I had a time machine now, of course, I'd prepare for every crisis.
Mm-hmm.
And in preparing for every crisis is always the best way to prepare to battle a crisis, diba? Or to prepare for a crisis is to anticipate a crisis. Now, if you have a time machine or you can go back in time, I think what I want to do is prepare for every crisis. Because every crisis we get through, mahirap talaga eh. It's so hard. It's so hard. You know, you're always thinking, will the business survive? Or will I be able to have a salary 2 months from now?
Mhm.
So, but if you're already prepared for a crisis to happen, and then there's no crisis at all because you already
Mm.
anticipated it. There is only a crisis if you went through it unprepared. There is no crisis if you were prepared, if you
Mhm.
anticipated a crisis.
But
Tama.
sir, question ko, like I think that's crisis management for SME like me. How can we prepare, or how can we have a proper crisis management if we're SME, we're small businesses. Most SMEs don't have that a lot of funds for emergency. How can we prepare for that?
No, I think everybody, if you're frugal enough, especially if you're a micro or a small business, I think first you have to be very frugal in your spending. I mean, di ba, in life there is something that you need and something that you want. Di ba? Those are two different things. You guys know that, eh, di ba?
Mm.
So, it's important to always do what you need. Yung want o yung wish list na lang, saka na yun pag umaapaw na yung pera eh.
Mm.
Yes.
But
Tama.
if you're very frugal, kunyari, you're starting up, sales are good, ah, tatayo ka na kagad ng factory na malaki, o then biglang may crisis, o paano na yan ngayon, di ba? Naipit na yung pera mo dun sa ano, sa planta, sa fabric, sa construction ng planta mo, mga ganun. Ah, look at into that. Just think about it. Always think about there's going to be a crisis next month. If you run
Mm.
your business that way, you might survive any crisis.
Mm.
I think
Tama.
that's a big lesson. Right, that's a big lesson, and that's the one thing that we have learned from this rising, from this generation. Na, basic naman eh, like even for personal and business, you always have to save for
Mm.
emergency.
Mm. You always have to have a plan B for everything.
That's right.
Tama.
So,
Tama. Sige, Jessica, go.
so sir, I would like to know, kasi you're investing on companies, and you're also doing mentorship for a lot of entrepreneurs. How do you determine a good entrepreneur? Kasi po, di ba, most of the interviews you say that you invest on people eh. Then second yung business model and so on. Like how do you determine a good entrepreneur? What are the characteristics of entrepreneurs you are looking for?
So siguro, no, it's really more on gut feel. But I think my gut is always telling me, look at the values of the person first, and then look at how how hungry the person is, or how
Mhm.
passionate. Yung hunger is like passion, eh. How
Mm.
how 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 ano the person is, and that person must show already mastery for that idea or for the business they're in. Hindi ko papasukan yung business, or I don't think I won't spend much time mentoring if a person who comes to me and says, "This is the business I am in now. Help me," or "I want to go into this business." Tapos when you ask him about what the business is, hindi niya masagot yun.
Mhm.
You have to first know. You have to have a mastery first on what business you're going to get into.
Mm.
Like for example, itong crisis na to. I mean, how are you going to navigate through a crisis if you don't master your business, di ba? Patay ka na, di
Mm.
ba? Di ba, itong crisis parang ano to eh, parang basketball game na last 2 minutes na lang, you're 10 points down. O
Exactly.
sinong ilalagay mo sa basketball court? Di ba yung pinakamagaling na first five mo, yung first five players mo, kasi yun ang pinakamagaling mo na players eh, di ba?
Mm.
So if I want to
Mm.
invest in a company or I want to help somebody, so you better show me that you have a mastery of the business of your business
Mm.
already.
Mm.
So when I ask you, sino yung market mo? Anong cost of goods mo? Saan
Mm.
ka papunta? Alam mo lahat yung sagot na yun.
Mm.
Sinong competitors mo? Gaano karami yung competitors mo? May idea ka na nun. Pero kung hindi mo pa alam yun, hindi mo pa alam yung negosyo mo, di ba?
That's
Walang
yeah.
Tama.
mangyayari sa business mo.
Ah, tama. And kanina, sabi mo nga sir, you've been working with a lot of young people right now, and alam mo, Jessica, personally, I've been pitching with Sergio Magsaysay for a lot of times na rin. So, hindi lang talaga ako nahihiya eh. Kung meron ako idea, bato kay Sergio Mag eh. Ito yung one question, no? How do you encourage mga innovative ideas ng mga tao, ng mga young people, di ba? Whether you're working with them right now or another people or new people that you've just met, no? How do you deal and how do you encourage with innovative ideas?
Well, I don't put I don't put my friends or my partners in a box. In fact,
Mhm.
I some of them hear me saying, the more
Mhm.
absurd the idea is, the more I like it pa nga sometimes.
Tama.
Kasi when what I mean was, if it's absurd, that means there is a strong, unique selling proposition siguro, or it's different from the market. It's different from any other thing in the market now. That's what I mean when I say something absurd.
Tama.
See.
And siguro, sige Jessica, go. Your turn.
So yes, we all know you're like the king of franchising because of the Potato Corner, and you being an investor and co-founder sa Easy Franchise. So like I mentioned earlier, the background, I'm part of Easy Franchise. I would like to know, like, is it the right time to franchise your business right now?
Now, Jessica, let's say first, why haven't you franchised yet, Jessica? Ikaw mo tanong. What's stopping you from franchising?
Oh, this
Well,
is
Assuming there's no COVID crisis now, what's stopping you from franchising?
Well, actually, it didn't stop me to start to do franchising. My business, Alamira, by the way, was ready for franchising, but then the COVID happens, and of course, it has to be paused. And since my industry is non-essential, catered by the government, so it was really a struggle. Not only for me, I'm speaking in behalf of the whole industry, personal services like salon and spa businesses. That's really our struggle. We can't operate for like almost 6 months now. And then even yung like the recent MECQs, like dapat makakapag-operate na this August, and then binawi ng government. So it was really a struggle with our community. And then a lot of entrepreneurs really gave up, like totally closed down, but some pivot naman. So yeah, that's the case with the personal service industry. And then
When did you start
another,
your business, Jessica?
apo,
When did you start your business?
2017. So it's the my
Oh, okay.
alam
O
niyo,
yun, yun na nga ang tanong ko eh. Bakit di mo naisip mag-franchise noong 2018?
I thought I was not ready at that time. So I'm gathering all the learning and experience at that time. And then, but from day one, I know I want to do franchising. Like I mentioned to you earlier, like that's my main goal
Okay.
to the start franchising.
Did you know that we at Potato Corner, our second store was a franchise already?
Yes,
In in the US, we don't even have a company-owned store. They're all franchised.
Mhm.
And we're franchising in the USA. We're franchising within the USA, and we don't have a company-owned store. Imagine, no? Bawal yun sa Amerika. Tahimik lang kayo. Pero tingnan mo, meron kami ganun, di ba?
like tutor eh.
Ito nga, live mentoring session nga to eh. So I'm just here watching you two. Kasi ang topic natin dito, business mentorship. So Jessica, this is a live mentoring session with Joe Magsaysay. So seize the moment.
Yeah, if anyone wants to ask questions, Sir Joe Mag, feel free to do so. We can ask him right now, live.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so I guess what you're pointing out, it's always the right time to franchise.
When people ask about, for me, as far as I'm concerned, especially for a business, a small format like a kiosk or a cart, or for example, less than 10 employees lang naman, or 20 employees, or less. I mean, if somebody wants your franchise and asks if can I buy a franchise, to my mind, the answer is you better say yes. I mean, why?
If
Because
you're not ready,
there's a small window of franchise opportunity. If you say no, we're not ready yet, or you say maybe next year magana, bukas pag sinabi mong hindi ngayon, bukas naghanap na yan ibang negosyo. Di na babalik sa'yo yung inquiry na yun. So you
Mm.
lost that window of opportunity. So that
I think
when people start asking you, can I buy a franchise, you better say yes. I'll tell you why. Offline later on, I'll tell you why. Secret yun
all
eh.
right. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. So I think what I've learned is and what I realized, like if there's an opportunity, I usually take opportunities, grab I'm a usual risk taker, but sometimes I want to back off. Like I want it has to be calculated risk thing. But like you mentioned right now, I'm gonna be more. I think have more courage to seize every opportunity because you'll never know if that opportunity will present again, diba? And
It
then
doesn't have to be your no. It doesn't have to be you to take that responsibility. You can let you can hire a person or or get a third party and put
then
that responsibility of growing to them. Para hindi mo iniisip yun. Kasi some people are not meant for franchising eh. Some people are not meant to interface with another partner eh.
mhm.
People are built differently, di ba? Me, I'm okay to interface with more than 400 franchisees and more than 100 partners. That's natural for me eh. But to some people hindi sila ganun eh. So what should you do? You get somebody, you get a third party siguro, you get an employee. Oh, this is your target. I want 20 stores this year. Tapos, di wala ka nang iniisip, di ba? It's their issue now. You
Definitely.
focus on your strength, which is siguro for you maybe it's your service development or your product development. You focus on that.
I think that's right. I think that's what I'm also doing right now because I do hire the consultant to develop my franchising. And like I said, I partner with Easy Franchise, and so far I'm really happy with Easy Franchise. How they take care of the brand and how they push really market it. So hopefully after the crisis, we'll again push for the marketing. The struggle is one we had one. I actually talked with these bubbles. Like we had one webinar, and there's a comment, sir. Like
Anong
there's
comment?
a comment from a viewer na instead, bakit daw parang pinupush yung franchising, hindi muna nila ayusin yung business nila ngayon, yung struggle nila ngayon. So that
Well,
was like the question
may,
to us.
may ganyan parate. May sagot rin para dyan.
Yes po.
Ayaw mo
So,
diwag. Ganun na sagot lang doon. Ayaw mo diwag. Yan,
tama naman.
yan ang
Tama
sagot
naman.
doon.
Tama.
Oo.
Ito crucial question, sir. Medyo magbabatin lang ako sa sa mentorship mo. Kasi syempre we're in the middle of a crisis, no. We're talking about franchising, no. How do you franchise in the middle of COVID-19 pandemic ba?
Well, you have to show leadership. Yeah, you have to show leadership lang. That's very important. Eh. Like for example, we opened 10 more franchises last month. New.
Wow.
But we're also closing naman, di ba? There are franchises that will not make it through this crisis. Kaya I'm very sad about that. Di ba? But in spite of that, there are new franchises. There are people who want to franchise pa rin. So these are people not affected economically by the crisis. And then in our international operations, we're growing. We're opening in Canada. We're opening more stores in Indonesia. We're opening more stores in Myanmar. Ganon. So parang international is largely unaffected by the crisis in terms of our business format, no? Philippines is hit hard by the crisis. But there's still franchisees who want to get out. There are people who still want to franchise. So it's really showing leadership because there are people who still can franchise. Don't make a general statement. It's a crisis today. Nobody wants to buy a franchise. That's not exactly true.
Exactly. So, kahit po ba non-essential ka right now and restricted ka to operate, may karapatan pa rin po ba mag-franchise?
Lahat may karapatan maghanap buhay. Hanap buhay yung pinag-uusapan natin eh. Hindi hanap patay, di ba? Buhay.
So, sir, since you said you're still doing the franchising, may twist po ba dun sa business structure, sa franchising structure? Kasi definitely parang nag-pivot din po yung Potato Corner. I think you're also doing delivery. or something like that. So nag-change din po ba ng business model that if for example, if I want to franchise, usually, di ba, yung full kiosk package. But right now, we all know na medyo mahina ang traffic. When I franchise Potato Corner, may ibang business model ba na itutulong si Potato Corner?
It's still the same franchise. What we have is another business model. It's not a franchise. We have e-stores.
E-store.
We have the Special Forces Army, and then we have another e-store that's coming out, that's launching this September also. So these are for communities na. Kasi if you look at, di ba, what do people say? You go where the market is. If the market is in the communities already, who doesn't know that, di ba? You know that everybody's selling anything already. Biglang nagkaroon ng explosion ng entrepreneurship talaga ngayon eh. Di ba?
Yes.
Kahit bata, entrepreneur na ngayon eh, di ba? Pupunta ka na doon sa market na yon. We're keeping the same store, the same franchise. Sa new business lang, a new business channel naman.
New business channel. Tapos medyo micro yung community, yung mga target, ganun po ba?
Oo, ang target lang namin, barangay lang or subdivision. For example, saan ka banda nakatira, Jessica?
Sa San Juan and Domingo po.
Di kunyari ikaw yung owner ng e-store ng Potato Corner Group. It's going to be another name, no? Ng e-store namin dyan sa Domingo, San Juan. Ang area mo lang na siguro kung malalakad mo siguro mga up to 400 meters lang. Ang purpose namin very close quarters lang.
Sobrang micro.
Hindi yung talagang micro kasi, 'di ba? I mean, kinarir ko na yung micro. Di lahat ng gagawin ko micro na lang, di ba?
Opo. Especially ngayon yung mga community po sa mga subdivision. I think na nung when the ECQ started, may mga Viber chat, tapos doon nagte-trade, nagbabenta yung within the community lang. So
di ba?
Yeah.
You can see how powerful that market is now, the community market, no? It's really powerful now, di ba? So
exactly.
that means that because of all this, we saw that there's already parang a market for communities. That's where we're going to be now. We'll focus on per community lang. Hindi na kami mag-a-ambition na, okay, we'll put up one in Domingo, San Juan. Aabot ng aabot ng Green Hills, aabot ng Timog. Hindi ganun ang plano namin.
And since we're talking about yung pivoting ng Potato Corner, no, and we all know na dahil dito sa crisis na to, it's a fact na madami din naman mga nagsara ng mga businesses, is either big businesses or small businesses, no. What are your parang may papayo? What are your papayo sa mga existing and struggling entrepreneurs right now? And also dahil yung mga tao nag-iisip din magnegosyo afterwards. So, ano naman din yung mapapayo mo sa mga aspiring entrepreneurs, Sir Jomag?
For aspiring entrepreneurs, yun lang, you just go into something you know.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you don't know anything about it and you like it, you partner with someone who knows the business very well and let that partner run the business. Don't go to anything you don't know. Kasi ang haba ng learning curve eh. Ang laking gastos nun. Pasukan mo yung alam mo na. Kaya tingnan mo the most successful entrepreneurs. They worked first, they mastered something because of their corporate life. Pag nagkaroon na sila ng build also, seamless na kagad. Minsan nga, dadalhin pa nila yung buong kliyente ng isang company sa kanila, di ba? Yun ang mastery, di ba? Yun ang mastery.
Jessica, you ask more questions with Sir Joe. Sayang chance.
Yeah. Actually, na-mention niya na kanina na he do have mentors as well, like heroes. But I want to know, sir, if there is a one person, like kahit international, if you would have a chance to sit down, talk with that person, like probably get an hour mentorship, who would that be?
Ako si Bill Gates.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi Bill Gates before parang hindi ko naman parang idol yan si Bill Gates. I know it was just idol kaya kasi siya pinakamayaman dati, no? But in terms of doing business, I didn't know exactly how he did it. But parang over time, nag-change siya. Nag-evolve siya to this kind of person today. Diba? I watched the movie yung about Bill Gates. I don't know if you watched that movie. But the things he's doing is nice now. That's why I wanna have a chat with him. Kasi parang he evolved to become a better person than he ever was. So parang I want to talk to him, say, I'm here now. Where do you think should I be? No, with the current where I am now. I want to pick his brain on that and get his wisdom on what he thinks I should be doing. Parang ganon. So it's about talking about where I'm going to go. Maybe I'll talk to Bill Gates about that. Kasi di ba ganun dapat ang entrepreneur eh. You have to constantly involved. And one of my mentors, my board of directors, si Professor Ed Morato. And then si Andy Ferreria also. And Jay Bernardo, they're people I ask advice always. Butcha, they say, sorry about
Okay lang, okay lang.
cursing. So, anyway, the message is you have to always reinvent yourself. You cannot stay stagnant.
Tama.
So, you have to make yourself, sabi ni Prof. Morato, his words was, he said, you make yourself obsolete every time so that nobody can become better than you because you're always making yourself different every time. Make yourself obsolete.
Nice.
And never stop learning, di ba po? So there's as we go well, we always have to have something to add on our skills and knowledge. Like you mentioned earlier, so even yung younger than you, you see the value of learning something from our generation, let's say mga 22. Sabi nung nga po kanina. So I think yung ang edge naman ng mga with our generation, we are more tech savvy, and those are the things, or I think the skills that we could share with your generation, yung medyo bata-bata. So that's our main purpose with ESME, to share knowledge for all the Filipinos in every category, because we always believe that every skills or knowledge will be valuable to someone else. Kahit yung simpleng skills lang, another person would want to learn that specific skills.
Okay, when you're talking to a mentor, the things that young people have to find out is the practical side of what they're doing. Get advice on the practical side kasi sometimes they haven't been through the business too much. Wala pa yung practical side eh. The older people went through those everything, so they know the practical side of the business already. Para bang para bang physics. Tingnan mo yung mga bata ngayon, di ba? Kasi they're playing basketball in computers, for example. But they never played, for example, some have never played real basketball. Yung magtatamo ka ng bola 30 feet away. The experience is different eh. So you can find the practical knowledge from the older people who've been through that. And then the other thing that you can talk about is so practical and
Credibility, sir, is it? How about that? Like when you're looking for a mentor, does he have to be known person, popular person, something like that?
Hindi, wala naman. It's really up to the mentee. Wala naman formula eh. Kung sinong gusto ng mentee. Siyempre, kung mentee, masamang values, hanapin niyang he will gravitate to a mentor na masama rin ng values kasi sama rin niya, di ba? Kung kasi you will find birds of the same feather will flock together eh. You will find the mentor for you eh. You will gravitate to the mentor who's actually the same values as you eh. You just don't realize it, but that's what's going to happen naman eh. You have the tendency to believe a mentor who's like you, who shares the same values as you, and you will not believe a mentor who is different values from you.
Tama. Oh, okay. Grabe, ang dami nating mga nuggets of wisdom from Sir Joe Magsaysay, no? Eto sir, meron ka bang mga last word of advice sa mga people that are watching or will watch the webinar right now in dealing with this crisis at natin mahirap, pero hindi imposible mag-strive dito sa crisis na to? Any last advice to them practically, emotionally, mentally, kasi madaming struggle din talaga.
Okay. Hey, you have to pray. We all have to pray for this to get through. We all have to look into ourselves first. Reflect muna. Don't panic. Take time to be in a quiet place. Reflect who you are. What's going to happen. What's going to happen the next few months. Makikita mo talaga yung worst case scenario eh. Alam mo yung worst case scenario. Always find the worst case scenario. Then after you've found the worst case scenario, alam mo sa sarili mo, kaya ko ba to? Pag hindi mo kaya, tingnan mo kung anong kailangan mo ng tulong. Then just face it talaga. I need this help. If I don't get this help, I'll face that worst case scenario. But if the worst case scenario, you can stand or you can get through a worst case scenario, then you don't have a problem. Always prepare for a worst case scenario when you're doing something.
Nice.
Yeah, I hope, I'm sure a lot of viewers learn a lot of insights from Mr. Domag's prior experience, nuggets of wisdom, and we really appreciate sharing your perspective in business and also in life. Now, sir, I think one last question is, or two questions. Is first, since you mentioned earlier yung question ko and then you answered about Bill Gates. So I think Bill Gates is on the philanthropy side na, 'di ba? So I have this theory na yung people when they started business, their goal is to be successful in business in life, and then once they have reached those goals na, then people will start looking for purpose and then a
Yeah.
different one. And
Yeah.
then like for Bill Gates, I think his purpose is like yung mga philanthropy niya. Kayo po, sir, if you're aside from the helping other entrepreneurs, what would be your next philanthropy?
Hindi yata akong pwede maging philanthropist. Well, I'm helping. I think my philanthropy is helping micro entrepreneurs. That's it. I spend a lot of time and money in helping micro entrepreneurs.
Okay. I think that's what I see naman. That's your real goal and purpose. And I really appreciate you and other, yung mga Filipino business moguls. There's really a community, especially with Go Negosyo. A lot of entrepreneurs are helping each other, giving free mentorship. Which before it was scary to start a business. Like few years ago, I always wanted to do, to do entrepreneurship, but there's no community organizations like Go Negosyo as well. And so
For example, Jessica and Jet, how
Mhm.
di ba you guys have your own business?
Yes, sir.
How are you organized as a board? Are you organized as a board already?
Yes, sir.
Are you a corporation?
Yeah, we already, actually, we are in the process of incorporating dahil na-build ang ESME during the pandemic and dahil sa operating mga difficulties ng SEC.
Okay.
We're still
So the next thing
finalizing.
to do is organize a board.
Yes, sir.
Because the board is the one that sets the strategic direction of the company.
Tama, sir. Right now, yun talaga, we, as ESME, being a mentee na din for you, Sir Joe, no? ESME, really, malaki yung potential into education technology right now dahil it really emphasized by the policies. And then, we're really thriving. Madami din competitions as well. Pero when these competitions arise, mag-emphasize din, mag-blossom yung value proposition ng ESME when in doing relevant courses that you are going to learn and in-demand skills ngayon yung ginagamit.
I have another board advisor now, si Chiki Go.
Chiki Go, the wife
yeah.
of
So, yes, of Josiah, no? She's a marketing guru. You know what she
Yes, sir.
asked the team during our board meeting? What problem sa sa marketing head, sa ibang heads, what problem are you solving? So that's the question I want to pose to you after this is what problem are you solving?
Definitely. Actually, sir, I also want to be transparent. Aside from our unique selling point that we want to be the e-learning for Filipinos. when we talk to contributors, especially nowadays, a lot of people would need to pivot their source of income. Um, they need to upgrade their knowledge and skills. When we talk to contributors and teach how they can, share their knowledge by launching a master class or creating a classes, I think what we're sharing is not what we're giving opportunity that we're giving it is not only money making or monetization. We talk to them, it's like we're giving them hope as well. That
So
after
what problem are you solving? Hindi bale, you don't have to answer that
Oh, you
later
don't have
on.
to. Actually, we've been talking with mentors then, no? And we've encountered that kind of question. And it looks easy on the surface, but pag pinag-isipan mo talaga, mahirap siya and madali naman sagutin, pero mahirap gawin. Pero dun, the bottom line is, tama yun. The answer, when you answer that very question of what problem are you solving, then all things, it will follow. It will really follow.
yeah, I think not only assignment for us, for all entrepreneurs and brands, we really have to think through what is our purpose, what is the problem we're solving.
Yeah. One good question or advice from a great mentor like Joe. Sir, thank you for all the insights that you have given us this afternoon. Thank you for your time. Also, you have inserted us in your busy schedule. Jessica, any last words?
Yes, I would like to invite everyone to visit our website at www.esb.ph, and please do like our Facebook page for more updates of our webinars and new courses that will be launched. And you can you can also download your digital certificates on our platform. So we will post instruction after this webinar how to do it. Yes. Again, thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you, Sir Jomag, for your spending valuable time with us, and with all your
Thank you.
insights and direct mentorship with us.
You're welcome. And thank you also, Jet and Jessica.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Sir Joe. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.